Hey folks, I wanted to share with you a new probability game that I've made to help students understand the relationship of probability and how dice are rolled. And I used to do an activity like this with kids, in an analog world with a pair of dice and a piece of graph paper, and we would roll, and kids would mark their little charts, and then would aggregate them all together. You'd have students with, maybe you'd have 30 students in a classroom, and you'd pair them up, so you'd have 15 charts being made, and you'd have the students roll 50 dice rolls, and at the end of that time, you would end up with 30 times 15, you'd end up with about 450 rolls. And interestingly, you could watch the charts. Individual charts looked one way, but when you aggregated them, you got the bell-shaped curve. So this is a way to do this digitally. So let me just show you how it works. I'm going to click my reset button. This actually runs with an app script, so you may have to authorize. If you make a copy of this, you'd have to authorize it the first time. But let's see how it works. I just use the checkbox as basically my change the roll the dice. And I roll the dice, so there I got a 10, gets marked in here, shows up on my chart, and my dice actually show up as a 10. Let me run another one. Yeah, there's a 5 and 4 is 9. There's my 4 and my 5 dice, so forth. And you can just keep rolling. And, if nothing else, if you don't use it with students, you can use this when you're just bored at work and, trying to work through a problem. Just keep clicking the dice roller and have it increase the counts on each one of the dice as they get rolled. So it was something I'd been wanting to build, and here is how it works. It does have an app script in the background. Let's take a look at a couple of the formulas. This is not a formula. The app script actually puts those in there. This is a VLOOKUP from my probability chart. I built my dice, and you maybe could use images of dice, but in this case, I built the dice individually. I built them with, inserting this little dot character and, a couple of dot characters and so forth. You could see how those might have been built. I think this is built with a, 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 a command return, control return, so you could get them to line up. Anyway, that's how I built those. And then when you come back over here, that's how the dice are built up. This is just a sequence of the numbers that are possible that you get when you roll. This is a count A of the dice rolls, and I'm inserting that character 10 because I wanted to, in my formula, I wanted to have a line feed between the 10 and the rolls. And then this, of course, is just an evaluation of, it's actually an evaluation of this data that's hidden, how many times each number is rolled. This is a real important formula in here. This is how the script is basically coming up with the value and where to put the value. So what it's doing is calculating the next the address. It's calculating the address of the next empty row if you do a match of the sum, and that's a really important value. I think I'll do a video just on this formula because it's pretty important to the way this works. And then, of course, the chart just builds up that way. So a real quick overview of a automated dice roller. All you have to really do is keep clicking, and you can see how the chart gets built, and kind of a fun way to demonstrate that to students. The app script is relatively simple. I am basically doing setting up some global variables, the spreadsheet and the sheet by name, and then on edit, using the on edit function to basically, when you click this on, it runs the script essentially, and then when it automatically unchecks itself. I think that's this last line here. And then I added another function, the reset count, and that's taking the sheet in the range of G2 to Q and clearing the content, so I can easily just quit this. I had been doing this initially with a ran between formula, but it's working better to have the app script create the dice and have the app script do the random number check and then set that value on our cell B1 and our cell C1, and that's how we then get that value. We sum C1 and D1, and then we take the we use the address that we've set here. I showed back in cell CT2. This address that the sheet calculates, we feed back over here to the script, get that value, and then we set an X in that range, and then we have the script reset the script then resets the checkbox back to false. So as you click the button, there's your 3, there's your 4, 8. And as you click this and keep going, you can see that eventually with the enough clicks, you generally end up getting the bell-shaped curve. And if you get tired, you want to reset it, you click that and you're back to normal. There's a link to make a copy of this sheet in the bottom of this YouTube movie. I hope you enjoy, and if you have any comments, please let me know.